What's going on, FreeMMOStation? I'm Skyldeberg, and I want to talk to you guys about why I buy into early access games. I know a lot of people, especially free-to-play players, really do not believe in the idea of paying for alpha or beta access. So when I first started doing video game reviews, I got into YouTube because I actually wanted to build a portfolio so that I could get into a company to be a video game quality assurance tester. I wanted to be a video game tester. So it kind of struck me very strange whenever this huge fad came up where people were paying money to test games for video game companies versus what I wanted to do, which was get paid to play the games. I just didn't understand that. So people were spending upwards of $100, like in Albion Online's case, to play the games in its early broken state. And that just sort of confused me, guys. It really did, and I'm sure it confuses a lot of you guys. But I want to elucidate now. I want to make clear why I do it. Why do I play early access now? Why have I changed gears? Well, my story is that I had to, okay? So there was a game called Snow. This is my first early access game that I purchased specifically for me, because I wanted to, because I was actually very happy about the game. A lot of the times I get review codes, I get to play games early, for free, because I work with these guys, with these channels. But Snow was the one that, out of my pocket, I wanted to spend $20 so that I could actually show it off. I was very intrigued about the game as well. So I bought into it. It was a shit game. It honestly was. It was bad. Next game I did was the WarZ. Infamously probably one of the worst games ever. But the thing is that even though those raw products at the time were really shit, now Snow is definitely better, and the WarZ is, I don't know, it's technically better, but still, anyways, so even though those products were bad and I didn't get my money's worth at the time, and I don't imagine I will actually get my money's worth in time coming, I still am glad that I bought them. I'm still glad that I had the experience because, in my opinion, that's what games are. Games are an experience, not a raw product, not even a service. They are an event. So if you think about video games as an event, something like a concert, right? Like, think of that like that. Like, instead of buying a band's CD, you spend significantly more money to go hear a raw performance because it's an event, because there are people, the atmosphere, the rawness, the performance of it all. That comes into account, and that's why you spend more money to have a significantly more brief, but arguably more intense experience. Because it is an experience. It's not a product. It's not even just a service. It's an event. And the same is, I would say, even doubly so, triply so, infinitely more so with video games, especially multiplayer-only games, because you directly require multiplayer, and this is big. So when you buy early access, you're buying into a game because you personally are hyped, or there's a huge amount of hype surrounding the game. So a game like DayZ, a lot of people are playing it in its early access state. Sure, you can wait until it's all perfect and polished, but what if nobody's playing then? That's a big risk you're taking. So are you really taking a risk playing it early access? Even if the game is shit, as long as you're playing with other people, that event could actually be really fun. And that was my experience with the WarZ. I bought it early access. I dreaded that I spent $20 to even get into the game, but as I played the game and I played with other people and, the whole YouTube community, the whole gaming community was talking about the WarZ, it was actually a really fun learning experience, and I did genuinely have some interesting raw experiences within the game. I had my very first fight or flight experience as somebody who grew up very protected, cul-de-sac kind of life. I never felt like a live or die situation. I had never felt that emotion, and in that game I was given that because it's a full PvP game, and I sort of had my first fight experience, right? Like I was running and this guy was chasing after me. I luckily hid behind a truck. This dude had a freaking SMG. He was gonna gun me down. I easily would have died, but I just happened to find a shotgun in a car. I picked up the shotgun, I shot him. I should have missed, but somehow my adrenaline gave me perfect aim. I hit him in the head, and I lived. And that's an experience that I'll probably remember forever because it was my first time where I ever felt like that was life or death. Wow. And there are other games that will give you very unique and original stories to tell your friends. And what's cool is when you buy these games during their hype moments, when most people are playing them, you can directly share that information. You can share those stories with people instantaneously on YouTube. You can record your footage, you can stream it. Even if the game is shit, people are still going to watch it. In fact, the WarZ, or its renamed Infection Survival Stories, actually was pretty popular on Twitch. Despite it being a notoriously shitty, horrible game that had like a pyramid scheme attached to it, people still watch watched it because it was still an experience. It was still an event. And that's my personal story, okay? I definitely have bought into a lot of other early access games, and there's a lot of early access games that are absolute garbage. Like, they are completely worthless, and yeah, it really sucks. But even some really bad games can still be worthy as an event. So, some of them are basically only worth as an event, which is going to be the case for games like Minimum, Strike Vector, Guns of Icarus. You know, these games can't really be played anymore. So those who bought into them early, played them early, had the most fun than like anybody, even though it was a lesser product than it is now, because the game's not a product, right? It's a time-sensitive thing, and it's really important for people to get into early access for competitive games, okay? So that's another reason why people want to get into it, because you need to be at the very start of the game. You need to be learning as much as possible, and that's why a lot of people are buying into Albion Online. That's why they're buying into like these competitive, like MOBA-esque games. Even if the game might not be competitive, there's always that chance, and so it's really important for people to start early and learn as much as they can. And then if you're a YouTuber, it's also really important to buy into early access, because that's really big fuel for your channel. I definitely know how it works. I bought into Dungeon Souls, and I was doing a Let's Play of that, and Dungeon of the Endless, I also like that. You know, I like roguelikes, but I do buy into early access to show that I just showed off. I like that. It's fun. It's fun to have new experiences and share it with other people. Be that competitive, like directly competing with other people, or cooperatively, like, you know, when you do a Let's Play and you're just kind of having fun with other people watching you. There's all sorts of reasons why to buy early access, but basically it all comes down to games are actually time sensitive. Even single player games, guys. We are no longer in like playing games alone. Well, like I said, with streaming, I play a lot of single-player games, but I don't ever play them alone. There's, with like YouTube, Reddit, all the games forums, there's so many ways to share, there's so many communities with these games. So a single-player game doesn't mean you're playing it alone. You're playing it with everyone around you. These communities are really big, and if you buy into early access, you can be a big person in the community, and it kind of gives you a little bit more power. So yeah, if you look at a game as a product, if you look at it as a raw product, buying early access just simply does not make sense. It doesn't. However, that's not how you can see it. You just can't. When you buy early access, you're buying into the experience, the event, the time-sensitive event, which is playing with all these other people in its hype, learning the game, calculating how to be the best in the game, or just sharing it off with, with other people on YouTube, just having fun, this raw fun. Okay, maybe it's a horror game, that doesn't exactly translate like fun, but whatever, you guys know what I mean. You buy into the game for the unique experience, be it fun, be it fear, discovery, or creativity, like in the case with Minecraft. Buying early access can sometimes give you influence over a game, maybe sometimes strongly so. Sometimes it'll give you influence over your other communities. You know, if you have played previous games in the genre, it's only going to bolster your standing within that community on YouTube or on the forums or whatnot. But there are truly so many like outside factors that goes into purchasing an early access game. Not just the cost, not just how like the publishing. Maybe you are a fan of the genre and you want to push forward that genre. Maybe you love Metroidvanias. We don't have enough Metroidvanias, so you're just going to go ahead and help kickstart a Metroidvania. Despite if it looks shit or bad, you just want the genre to succeed, so you kickstart it. But that's because you want something bigger than just the game. You are pushing that, and that's what it is. When you kickstart a game, you are supporting more than just the game. You are supporting the surrounding community and surrounding communities of that community. You're supporting like Kickstarter itself, and like I said previously, you also can support yourself. You're promoting yourself if you do videos for this game, or if you share it off on different forums, if you have a blog or something like that. So yeah, you don't buy into early access to just trudge through bugs, to just have a bad experience just for the sake of having it soon and fast. It's more than that, guys, and it's gonna definitely be on a per game, per Kickstarter or greenlit or whatever. It's gonna be on a per item basis, okay? But you can't look at it like it's just the item, because it's more than that. It's definitely an experience. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Skyldeberg with FreeMMOStation. My experience with early access, like hundreds of games. Hundreds and hundreds of games. Absolutely. So can you trust my opinion? A little bit. And let me just end this by saying, no, not all early access are worth it. Some games are literally just unredeemable, and that's the truth. And there's actually a large majority of games on these sort of sites like Kickstarter that are actually really, really bad. So it would be really cool that if you do buy into one of these games, you should probably share that it's completely shit. But, try to be a little bit fair. A Kickstarter game is early, but still, some games are irredeemable. I understand that. But I just want to say that early access can actually be really, really fun, despite a game's quality sometimes. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like videos like this, then we'll like it. And subscribe for our top 10s and other first impressions of new games, Kickstarter or otherwise. coming out.